Every gym in the world has at least one of them. Someone who puts all of their energy into trying to impress onlookers by lifting such a ridiculous amount of weight that they can't help but grunt and cringe under the extreme force. To most people, this scene might look somewhat absurd. Why would someone push their body to extreme limits and potentially hurt themselves? To those strong guys and gals, however, it's all part of seeing just how far the will to succeed can take them, and these 20 behemoths succeeded big time. Number 1. If there's anyone in this world who can motivate you to get out to a gym and get yourself in shape, it's 97-year-old Edith Traina. She was a great-grandmother who'd been wowing crowds for years. That's a 135-pound barbell she's lifting in this picture. Number 2. Meet Ukrainian Strongman Dmytro Kaladze. This broad-shouldered rock of a human made a name for himself carrying full-grown horses on his back. Before he lifted them, he bound their feet together to ensure he didn't catch a hoof to the jaw. Number 3. This group of men belonged to the Royal Horse Guards in Britain, and one of them clearly stood out from the rest as the strong guy. You wouldn't want to come across him alone on the battlefield, because he'd probably make a hand puppet out of you. Number 4. Any Game of Thrones fan will immediately recognize this massive guy as the character The Mountain. His real name is Halfbjord Julius Bjornsson, and he lifts very heavy stuff. And as of 2018, he actually held the title of World's Strongest Man. Number 5. If you travel to Dagestan, a small remote village in the faraway corner of Russia, you can meet Sakinat Hanapieva, an old lady who can tear phone books in half and twist metal rods into a spiral. This is one old lady you really don't want to tick off. Number 6. Would you believe the young man holding up this motorcycle and a grown man is actually just 14 years old? His name was Charles Highfield, and he claimed to be the strongest boy in England where he lived. By the look of it, he very well could have been. Number 7. When 17-year-old Michael Cruz entered a local strength competition at a beach in South Florida, he blew everyone away when he flipped a massive truck tire over in less than a minute. It's safe to say he found his calling. Number 8. Edward Reese was one man who never skipped ab day at the gym, and if anyone ever called him a liar, he'd just show him this photo. He could probably fit another lady or two if he tried. Number 9. Ever wonder who the strongest woman in the world is? Well, you're looking at one of them. Donna Moore had a grip of steel, and here she is lifting a boulder that weighs over 300 pounds. She better watch those toes in case she drops it. Yikes. Number 10. Paul Anderson was wearing a smile on his face for a very good reason. Not only was he strong enough to lift both these massive metal wagon wheels on his thick shoulders, but he claimed to have backlifted the heaviest weight ever, 6,270 pounds. Number 11. If you ever get a chance to visit the Kela Raipur festival in India, you'll see plenty of crazy feats like this one. It's a yearly festival where men and women from all over the world show off their wild talents. This guy had a balancing massive objects with his mouth down pat. Number 12. This older man could have probably outlifted most people who were decades younger than him. This photo was taken during World War II when thousands of older men volunteered to defend Britain. He may have been old, but this was certainly one guy you don't want to duel with. Number 13. The Australian oak is a mammoth-sized log that competitors attempt to hoist directly above their head in order to win. This competitor and absolute unit, Zydrunas Savakis from Lithuania, successfully manhandled the log to its winning position. Number 14. What do you do when you're a blacksmith named Joe Smith and your boss tells you to move an iron barrier to the other side of the street? You lean back, balance the entire thing on your chin, and walk it over like a boss. Number 15. Pro wrestler Braun Strowman didn't mess around when it came to lifting heavy things, as this picture clearly proves. Have an issue with the underbelly of your truck? No need to bring out the jack. Strowman's got it covered. Number 16. The man holding this enormous barbell was Eugene Sandow. He's actually credited with being the first bodybuilder of modern times, and it's easy to see why. This guy could lift. His showmanship even led to a close friendship with King George V of England. Number 17. One brick, two brick, red brick, Rubik. The way this woman stacked these bricks on her head makes them look like the heaviest Rubik's Cube of all time. Those balancing skills were second to none. Hopefully she didn't have far to travel. Number 18. Iranian Strongman Siaman Rahman won several medals throughout his weightlifting career, and he bench pressed almost 700 pounds. However, that's not even the most astonishing thing about him. He was actually a wheelchair-bound paraplegic who never let his handicap get in the way of greatness. Number 19. Too many drivers feel like they have the right to park wherever it suits them, even if it's in the middle of a bike lane. Well, when this guy's around, you better believe he won't let a car stand in the way of some good cycling. Lance Armstrong would be so proud of his commitment. Number 20. Even though the woman holding up the full-size piano and grown man didn't have massive arms or bulging legs, she most likely had a core like a cement brick. Maybe she shouted out song requests to her musician friend to get her pumped while she lifted. Imagine having this kind of strength. It's almost like these people are real-life Incredible Hulks. Share these heavy lifting people with your gym rat friends below.